Very excited to want to share with you guys the primary deck that I used to climb to Masters, PnZ Blood Rockets Noxus. It's basically a Jinx Draven deck. I ran several different cards from the ones that you might find in the net deck, and I want to talk about them in depth. Now you want to realize that the main two win condition cards in your deck is Draven and Jinx, right? And so you notice that the both of them, they have 3 health, right? And they are vulnerable to a lot of the 3 damage removals in the meta game, such as Get Excited, or just in general, sometimes you might run into like Venomman Demacia or things that have challenge, right? And they might be able to get to 3 attack. So you want to run. So I personally run 2 copies of Sohm Dredger, because the rest of my minions, they're all 1 health, 2 health. They don't really. Whereas Sohm Dredger, it has 3 health and it can draw away one of the removals potentially for win conditions. And at 4 damage on turn 2, it is already insane, right? It is absolutely insane. Like there's not really many minions in the meta game that can withstand 4 attack. So most likely this 4 damage is going to the face if you play it on turn 2. And it also has a discard downside, right? But we run several discard synergy cards in our deck, such as Jury Rig and Visions. Visions is the main one. And imagine if you Visions on turn 2, you basically buff your 1 drop for 1 more attack, and the Sohm Dredger becomes a 5/3. 5/3 on turn 2, we are an aggro deck, so that is really good. Now another tech card in the same thought process I had was Transfusion. I don't see Transfusion run at all on the meta, and it's really good. The main point of it is the +2 health, because you mainly want to save this card to protect your win conditions, right? You want to protect them against damage removals. And sometimes the +2 attack gives you the win as well, or gives you a really favorable trade against their board. So this is a really super underrated card. I have no idea why no one else is running it. I also have 1 copy of Thermogenic Beam. This is just it serves as a removal, a one-off removal in the mid game, such as like turn 4, turn 5. Sometimes they have there are some decks out there like Standalone Z or something along that line. Some of the Freljord decks, they like to buff 1 minion to insane proportions, and they have nothing else. So Thermogenic Beam it'll catch people by surprise. Yeah, and sometimes it's a dead card, but that's okay, because we are a discard deck, right? So we have cards like Sohm Dredger. You can use the card as a discard fodder. So that there isn't really any pathetic cards in this deck. My deck has no pathetic cards. Just some of the standard early game minions available in this expansion. This is of course the first expansion, but I feel like this deck could probably carry on to the second expansion pretty well. There are some pretty good cards coming up, but more on that in another video. Now we also have 1 copy of Culling Strike. This is also a card that catches people by surprise. It's really good against Braum decks. It's just an auto win. Yeah, you just keep Culling Strike in your opening hand against Braum decks. And otherwise, it's very hard for us to deal with 0/5 Braum that regenerates. And it's also good against just champions like Zed, or in the mirror matchup, it's pretty good against the Boom Crew rookie as well. Yeah, it's just a nice one-off removal. Again, you can use it as fodder if you don't need it in the matchup. So the real skill here in using this deck is to know which cards to discard with Romage and which cards to discard with Sohm Dredger, and when to do it. Like, timing is really key. You need to recognize that these 2 champions are your win conditions. You want to get to them and you want to protect them with every tool you have. And last but not least, another very underrated card in this deck, Augmented Experimenter. Look at this card. 6 mana. Okay, that's a bit expensive for our archetype. Discard your hand. Draw 3. Deal 3 damage to an enemy unit. This is insane, man. Like, Usually the discard your hand is the biggest downside to why this card is so powerful, right? But we don't really care if our hand is discarded. Like on turn 6 or turn 7 when we play Augmented Experimenter, it doesn't matter, our hand is empty anyway, and then it becomes it serves as a draw engine. You get to draw 3, and you get to deal 3 to an enemy unit. It's just absolutely insane. This card is insane. I don't know why it's not run either. Now, cards that are run that I see in the meta game is Zorlike Urchin. Look at this card. It's so weak. 1 mana to 1 to play me, discard 1, last breath, draw 1. So basically think about this as a cycling engine, right? You get to discard something and you get to draw 1 back. So it's net 0 value. It's a 1 mana 2/1, which is okay compared to our other possibilities like Precious Pet. You know, Precious Pet gets fearsome. This is pretty useful on turn 1 because there's not really any minions that the opponent can play that has 3 attack to block the fearsome. So you get 2 free damage in. Another card that we run is Draven's Fan. Yeah. So you know, this helps us get to our Draven more consistently, and you really want consistency when you're trying to climb ranked. And look at this card, it doesn't do anything for us. It doesn't do anything for us, I think. It's pretty much more of a mid-range card where you want to try and cycle through your deck. And yeah, some people might play it for the discard synergy, but I think why don't you just run like Swim Dredger, right? And we only have 7 natural discard synergies. I run 1 copy of Flame Chompers. Now this card is also very underrated. I see it sometimes run in the standard net deck, but I only run 1 copy of it. Now what this card does is it basically stuns an enemy unit, right? You can draw away their biggest unit with Flame Chomper because it has Challenger. So when you push for the last attack, you know, 1 more of your minion gets through. And it has a natural discard synergy, so you could play it together with Swim Dredger. And instead of the Zorlike Urchin, I prefer to run Legion Rearguard. You know, it's just 3 attack, 2 health. You know, it's much better. Don't run Zorlike Urchin. Another card that I cut is the Academy Prodigy. Some of them run it in conjunction with Brothers Bond, which is pretty good. But I find that at 1 health, it's very weak to cards like Val Feast. And, you know, our deck really struggles. Like, imagine if we play this on turn 2, and the opponent Val Feast. They gain 1 health, they gain a 1/1 Spiderling, and you got nothing. You got nothing off. Whereas if you have stronger 2 drops like House Spider, or again the Swim Dredger, or the Boom Crew Rookie, these are all very resilient minions, right? These are all very healthy and resilient minions. And in the early game, you kind of want to fight for board. You want to go as wide as possible. And the more minions you have survived, the stronger your vision gets, right? When you eventually play it. Yeah, so vision is really powerful in this deck. You want to go as wide as possible. As many minions on the board as possible. That's what I'm trying to say. So yeah, that is pretty much the PnZ Noxus special that I have for you. The deck code is down in the comments or description below if you want to try it. And now we're going to hop into some games. Now we're facing off against Championless Shadow House Demartia. Probably the Undying deck, right? Okay, so here we have an interesting mulligan. Because we have Draven's Fan, we don't have to keep Draven in our opening hand. And so we can imagine that the Draven is here. This way you get to have an extra different tool, maybe Mystic Shot or Vision or something else, so that your hand won't get too clunky with too many Dravens. Now I'm wondering if I want to keep Jinx. I think Jinx is pretty good. Yeah, Jinx is pretty good into Undying. 2 Jinx. If we draw something that has a natural discard synergy, we can play Swim Dredger. Oh no, we are definitely going to draw Draven, right? So we can either Swim and discard our House Spider, or we can play House Spider and keep the Swim for later on. I think I just want to max pressure him, right? Like we have Jinx, Draven coming up. Like we just want to power on the pressure. Otherwise, later on he has things like single combat and such. Yeah, so this is good against his 4-4. Develop the Draven. The main concerns against his deck are things like single combat. So I'm not sure if I want to attack with my Soul Dredger because it gets blocked by the 3-2. I think we'll just hang back and hope that Jinx will carry us to the finish line. We block the 4-4. Because that's the best value this Soul Dredger is gonna get. Now you always want to look to level up Jinx whenever you can. So we can't level her up here because even if we discard 2 cards, we still have 1 more left. He's gonna single combat, so this is the main card that he has against us. But I'm glad that he didn't use his Undying to single combat, because these keep coming back and they are bigger and bigger every time. Since we have the second Jinx, that means we only have 1 Jinx left in our deck, and a little bit worried that he single combats it away again. So instead, I'm going to play the Precious Pet no matter what. Our main tool against his single combat is Transfusion and Mystic Shot. This thing again. He keeps getting this one. This one's pretty strong against us. I think in this case we're just gonna level up Jinx. Yeah, we're gonna discard these 2. He's tapped out. We'll go in. He doesn't necessarily have to block yet. So we're gonna commit the Spinning Axe right away. This way we should have both champions level up by the end of the turn. It's gonna have to block some things. So the good thing about Jinx is that even though we are tapped out, she draws an extra card at the start of the round. So we're gonna be drawing 2 as long as we're gonna be drawing 2 every turn as long as she stays alive. Yeah. And we also absorb the frost from the shaman so that our overwhelm Draven can overwhelm him, hopefully. It's really good that we drew a bunch of burst spells, because this way then we can activate the rocket. I don't necessarily have to play these spells right now, so I'm going to hold back. I'm going to Mystic Shot his face, because we're going to get the rocket that deals 1 to all his minions, and most likely it will get rid of the shaman as well. It's a good thing his Undying are still small, so they can't really single combat away our Jinx, because our Jinx has 4 health. So in this matchup, you really want to be faster than him. It's sort of a race as well. Doesn't really matter who we give the X to, as long as we get the rocket. So you see the rocket deals an extra damage to all his minions. Very good that they don't kill his Undying, because I don't want them coming back with +1/+1. But it does get rid of the Shaman, which is very convenient since next turn is our turn to attack. And I would like my Jinx unfrozen as far as possible. I don't really see a way out for him now. Now that we have just so many things, right? I think we can attack first. Gonna have to be playing the Jinx spell because we want to empty our hand. But I really don't see a way that he can get out of this. He does have some amounts of heal. So I'm gonna go on ahead and just clap his face. Perfect animation for get excited is clap. Alright. Gonna have to wait for the official confirmation from Riot Games about the... Oh, are we? Alright. Rank 98. Nice. I hope you guys have a good experience trying to climb to Masters. I think it's very fulfilling, very rewarding. If you want to try out this deck, the deck code is down in the comments or descriptions. All you need is 3 Dravens, 3 Jinx. Yeah, and that's about it. Lucian Garen. That's a pretty fancy deck. I haven't seen that before. I'm gonna be trying to look for some cheaper drops like Draven, who waved at us. Have to wave back. The double wave. I'm gonna give him a Jinx since we're playing the Jinx deck. Oh, hesitating with the Citra. We can probably attack here, right? His minions probably grow stronger. Oh, he decides not to block. Yeah, we didn't draw any minions to play. This is a little bit sad. We do have Draven on 3 though. That's the barrier. It's gonna get our Draven fan for free. But we can't really stop that, so I'm just gonna develop the Draven. We have some possibilities here. We can play the Jury Rig at burst speed and also give it the Visions buff by discarding with the Spinning Axe to block the 3/2. But I'm not sure if that is worth it. So I might just let the 3/2 get in. We are in need of some minions. Need to top deck some minions. There's a minion. So we're gonna play the Boom Crew Rookie for sure. And consider between playing the Mystic Shot or Pet, or even the Culling Strike. His power play will be Bannerman here. Oh, Culling Strike is pretty good against the challenger. Lauren Protege? Later on. But there's a chance that we can scam the challenger by having him block maybe our 2/1. No, he can't block the 2/1. Most likely this will block the Boom Crew, right? So I guess it's probably beneficial that we just Culling Strike now. This is out of range of Radiant Strike as well. If we want to Culling Strike this, you could Radiant Strike to cancel the effect. Because of course that will put him out of range of the 3 attack requirement. We're gonna attack first, and yeah, probably get some surprise value out of Vision by buffing after the meta. So he's already down to 8 health. So you see, we do quite well against the Demartian deck, which I assume is Bannerman Demartian with a splash of Noxus. And if he doesn't have any good minion here, I guess Garen is pretty good. Garen on 5, but he didn't have it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna level up Jinx this turn by playing the Jury Rig at burst speed and just discarding away the Mystic Shot. It's important to always level the Jinx as soon as possible because she draws 2 cards and there's the possibility that you can activate the Super Mega Death Rocket to pressure his face. Yeah, so here we are going to... Oh no! We don't have enough mana to Mystic Shot this one away. Although like I said, we can play the Jury Rig, right? And discard the X immediately. Discard the Mystic Shot. I'm just thinking where to put the Mystic Shot. Do I want to put it on the Draven and have him block the War Chef? I think it's a yes. So that we can level up the Draven and the Jinx in tandem. And what happens is the Jinx becomes 4 health. So it gets out of range of the 3 attack from the tracker. And Draven levels here as well. So striking even as a block counts as a strike, as long as you deal damage during battle or with spells with your attack power. So here we get to top deck 2 cards instead of just 1. And this is a burst spell, so if necessary we can always discard the House Spider away immediately. So we're just gonna go in for the open attack. And the reason you want to discard, keep your hand empty, is because you want to get the Super Mega Death Rocket in case he has some tricks like single combat to trade away the Jinx. You always want to have it immediately. It's giving us the Shen. It looks like that is it. You want to be able to discard your hand immediately before she dies. So it looks to me like this isn't getting any damage in anyway. So we can just buff this way. And remember that Draven has Overwhelm, so the extra attack goes through. And that's GG. Hope you guys like the deck. Once again, the code is in the description below. And this is just a quick showcase of the power of PnZ Blood Rocket Noxus.